Okay, so AI is growing up fast. It's not just about asking a chatbot for a recipe anymore. We're stepping right into the age of autonomous agents, AI that can actually do things for us. I'm talking booking flights, running entire supply chains, even conducting complex research. But just like people in the real world, these agents need some form of ID, right? A kind of digital passport, so we know who or what we're actually dealing with. So what if we built a whole new corner of the internet just for them? Let's dive into this proposal for a new domain, .ia.
But before we get to the solution, we have to talk about the problem, and it's a big one. There's this huge gaping hole at the heart of the AI revolution, a critical piece of the puzzle that is completely missing.
You know, the agentic economy isn't some sci-fi movie concept for 20 years from now. It's here. It's live. Companies like Google, Microsoft, IBM, they're already deploying these agents to handle serious business. The Linux Foundation is even building a common language for them to communicate. We're looking at an ecosystem that's projected to manage over $1 trillion in transactions every single year. This is absolutely massive. And that brings us to the trillion-dollar question. I mean, think about it. If an AI agent makes a fraudulent purchase with your credit card, or if it gives a lawyer completely made-up legal cases that get them sanctioned, who's on the hook for that? Is it the person who wrote the code, the company that runs the cloud server, or you, the person who just gave it a simple prompt?
Well, the scary part is, right now, nobody really knows. There is no clear answer. This is what people in the industry are calling the accountability gap, or sometimes the liability vacuum. It's this enormous gray area of risk, and honestly, it's what's keeping big companies from going all in on AI. And it leaves all of us, the consumers, pretty exposed.
So what are we doing right now for AI identity? Well, the truth is the current solutions are just a messy patchwork quilt of systems that were never, ever designed for this brave new world.
First up, you've got the .ai domain. You see it everywhere, right? It's become the unofficial home for AI. But here's the thing. It's the country code top-level domain for the island of Anguilla, which means, kind of by accident, a huge chunk of our global AI infrastructure is fundamentally tied to the laws and politics of one single small nation. I mean, talk about putting all your eggs in one basket.
Then you have the approach from the tech giants. They're building these walled gardens, these enterprise silos. An agent created on Amazon's platform can't easily talk to an agent on Google's. This leads to vendor lock-in, and it fragments the internet, which, goes against the entire original idea of an open, interconnected web.
And of course, you've got the Web3 folks with things like .agent. The technology there is really interesting, no doubt, but it's all on the blockchain. That means it basically excludes 99% of the internet that you and I and almost every business uses every single day. So when you actually lay it all out side by side, the problem just becomes crystal clear. You look at things like governance or mission or basic accessibility, and every single one of these options has a major fundamental flaw. They're either built for profit, tied to the fate of a single country, or just way too niche. None of them were actually built to solve this core problem of accountability.
Okay, so if the tools we have are the wrong shape for the job, what if we built a new one? A tool designed from the ground up with intention to fix this. Let's get into the actual proposal for a new piece of public interest infrastructure, the .ia top-level domain.
The whole idea here is built on 3 really solid pillars, and they're designed to create a foundation for this agentic economy that is stable, that's fair, and that's trustworthy.
The first pillar is all about linguistic equity. Think about this. For more than 1.2 billion people on this planet who speak Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, or Romanian, the natural way to say artificial intelligence is IA, Intelligentsia Artificial, Intelligence Artificielle. This is a simple but powerful way to make sure the very language of AI isn't just centered on English.
Pillar number 2 is technical necessity. .ia is specifically designed to be a bridge. It connects the internet we all use today, Web 2, with the more decentralized future of Web 3. So it's built to be future-proof, making sure that as technology moves forward, nobody gets stranded on the wrong side of that bridge.
And pillar number 3 is a really fresh take on governance. .ia is proposed as a public benefit company. And that's not just some feel-good marketing slogan, it's a legal commitment. The plan is to reinvest up to 90% of its net profits, that's the money left over after all the essential operating costs are paid, back into public good projects. We're talking about funding things like universal basic income pilots or programs to get more people digital access worldwide.
So it's a really compelling idea, right? But an idea is only as good as the people who can actually pull it off. So who's behind this proposal? This quote from the team really gets to the heart of their mission. They don't see themselves as tech speculators trying to make a quick buck. They see themselves as internet engineers, the old guard, coming back to patch the system for the age of AI.
And wow, do they have the credentials to back that up. The technical leadership includes some of the original architects of the F-root DNS server. Now, to put that in perspective, that is one of the 13 original root servers that form the absolute bedrock of the entire internet. These are the folks who understand that when you build global infrastructure, it has to be stable, secure, and it simply cannot go down. Ever.
And they are definitely not doing this alone. This proposal has some serious broad support. It's backed by a whole pro bono network of experts. We're talking former board members from ICANN, that's the nonprofit that helps keep the whole domain name system running smoothly, leaders from internet user groups in Europe and Latin America, even AI safety researchers from top-tier institutions. It's a real coalition of people who want to get this right.
Their financial model is built for the long haul. They've already secured enough operating capital for 2 full years, giving them a really stable runway. The projection is that by their 5th year, they could be reinvesting over $4 million into those public benefit programs. And again, by focusing on reinvesting net profit, not revenue, they're ensuring the organization itself can survive and thrive to serve its public mission for years to come.
So here's what this all boils down to. Approving .ia isn't some small technical decision about one more domain name. It is a foundational choice about the kind of internet we want to build for the future.
The choice before us is pretty stark. On one hand, we can just let things continue as they are and end up with a fragmented, chaotic future full of corporate silos and hidden risks. Or we can take this moment to intentionally build a real foundation for an agentic economy that's more optimistic, orderly, and accessible for everyone.
When you see this logo, the idea is that .ia isn't just another address on the internet. It's meant to be a symbol of trust, like a digital wax seal. It's a commitment to a shared, fair, and safe digital future, where our AI agents can actually be discovered, verified, and crucially, held accountable.
So in the end, this is about so much more than a new domain. You could really call it a proposal for a new social contract for the next era of the internet. And how we decide to move forward is going to shape our relationship with artificial intelligence for generations to come.